Hey, you, what you gonna do? Hey, you, what you gonna party people in house? Let's roll. It's your boys, No Highway Option, the cinema podcast where we answer the one question that every movie gives us. Is it better or worse than Vin Diesel's 2005 seminal masterpiece, The Pacifier? Alright. You know, like the lines from the song.
Yeah.
That was in my head all day at work today, and like I recited it driving home, and I was like, that's gonna be great. And it just wasn't then. I'm Connor, I'm one of your hosts, and growing up, my favorite Looney Tune was Daffy Duck.
I'm Luke, your other host, and my favorite Looney Tune is the Wild Gunman Yosemite Sam.
And we have a very special guest with us today from I Drink Your Podcast, Matthew Anderson.
Hey, folks. Thanks for having me, guys. But my favorite Looney Tune has to be Tweety Bird. You know, love a good Tweety Bird on a shirt. What do you think?
That he was like the dominant branding one, it seemed.
They range from great to absolutely terrible.
Right. You got knockoff Tweety Bird shirts, you know, people wearing their shirts at water parks. It's just like, they're great, you know?
It's either like knockoff tie-dye Tweety Bird or like gangsta Bugs Bunny with his pants down to his knees.
Yeah.
A strange time to be alive.
For sure. But man, this movie took me down memory lane with all of the Looney Tunes. Like you said, pick your favorite Looney Tune, and I was like, I couldn't think of one other than Bugs for like a half a second. I just watched the movie too, so
it's just like Bugs and others.
Right. Like Lola, the hot one.
Yeah, Lola, who's only there to be girl.
Yeah, the sex object of the movie.
An interesting choice.
Right. I don't want to jump ahead, though. I feel like I'm jumping ahead.
Well, in case you couldn't tell, our movie this week, given to us by last week's guest, Brandon Williams, is Space Jam, the 1996 highest-grossing basketball film of all time, starring Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny.
Rightly so.
Yeah, that was surprising. The highest-grossing basketball movie of all time. And that beats out. What are the competitors? So we got Hoosiers.
You got like
Glory Road.
Glory Road.
What was the one where Martin Lawrence is a college basketball coach, and then he has to coach his like middle school alma mater? It's like Rebound or something.
I have no idea. Does Luck of the Irish count?
Yeah,
I mean,
Love and Basketball.
Love and Basketball is a real thing. Yeah.
That Allen Iverson one with Spike Lee. What's that one called?
Oh, I didn't remember Allen Iverson made a movie.
I don't know. I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of the name.
Yeah, that was a good one, though.
Was Mr. Woodcock a basketball movie, or did he just hold basketballs all the time in the poster?
I think that counts as a basketball movie, then.
It's like anything that has Christmas, anything that has a basketball
it counts.
He Got Game was it. He Got Game.
There you go.
But, yeah, I didn't realize this was the highest grossing basketball movie of all time, but I think well-deserved.
So you have a positive history with this, you'd say?
Yeah, I mean, I liked it when I grew up, and then, you know, watching again, like the movie starts off really great. You know, you got a kid shooting hoops out in the front yard with his dad, and then he tells him how successful he's going to be, specifically.
Yeah. It's got a great song, I Believe I Can Fly, which is an incredible piece of music for just coming out of the ether and not being recorded by any artist whatsoever.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a great song that came from nowhere.
No one knows where the song came from. It just appeared.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the first notes I wrote. I Believe I Can Fly. Really have to separate the artists with that one.
A little bit.
But man, that opening credit sequence was great. For as long as it was, I thought it was great. It got me kind of in the same vein of like if you guys saw the Jordan doc, the 10-part series, it kind of reminded me of that, and I was like, whoa, this is great, because it had a lot of old game footage and stuff.
Yeah, and it's got the Quad City DJs theme, which is an incredible song. Like no matter how you feel about the movie, it's fantastic. The opening of this and leading into the opening credits, if you didn't know what this movie was, if you just turned it on the TV with no prior recollection of what it was, how confused are you when it's Michael Jordan. You're like, oh, it's a Michael Jordan documentary. Bugs Bunny. Just like... And then the rest are just like basketball players and Bill Murray and Wayne Knight. Like no other Looney Tune gets billing.
Yeah, I kind of feel like they should have gone either all in or nothing.
But like,
how do they go nothing with Space Jam?
It's totally just a hidden like
Jordan 1-on-1 with the Monstars.
It's just all the credits are the same, and then at the end it just says "and featuring Elmer." And who's the other one?
Pick like a little known one, just like, and also Gossamer.
Gossamer is barely. I have issues with the team setup of this movie, and I'll get to that. But Gossamer is a big point I have.
Now, which one's Gossamer again?
He's the big red monster that's like only hair.
Just a big mustache with feet.
Okay, they all just blend together for me. I knew there was a stupid one, like a taller, stupid one.
That can describe a lot of them, honestly. So then we go to a press conference where Michael Jordan announces his retirement from the Chicago Bulls and is like, I want to play baseball for the White Sox, or their minor league affiliate. And then we just...
The Barons.
Suddenly, Moon Amusement Park.
Yeah, Moron Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the first thing I thought was interesting was they were using old footage, and I felt like they could have used his actual retirement footage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it goes straight from those credits right into that scene where they recreate him retiring, and then they ask him, like, what are you going to do next? And like, they could have used all of that, I felt, and that would have been sick.
Yeah.
It would have made it
it's
feel
not like
more
they
real.
did anything different.
Right. No, they didn't. It was all... Yeah, it just... They were like, no, we're going to shoot this. we didn't get it before.
Hey, Michael, remember how nervous you were when you retired? You got to do it again.
Yeah. Do you talk about like what was going on while the movie was coming out or in production? Because, you know...
I mean, there's a bit... Wasn't the whole thing with his dad added in because his dad died, like, right before it shot? Was that it?
Well, that's part of the reason why he went and retired and played baseball. You should watch that documentary. Really good. 10 parts. That's like 30 hours, though. So, it's really good because it kind of mirrors... like. Space Jam is like what happened to him in real life, and he was filming Space Jam while training to come back. Like he had already came back, but he just didn't have the same energy, and he got his ass kicked by the Magic. I think they lost the series 4-2, and he was wearing number 45. And then there was like a player who was like famously cited of saying like 45 ain't 23. And then Jordan was like super fucking motivated to come back, and so he was training. And like he was training while he was filming. So he's filming like the first 8 hours of the day. And then he had his own training facility at the movie studio where they had all these famous pickup games with all these superstars. And then he would go and play, and then he would weight train, and then he would do it all over again the next day, which was wild. And then he went on to win 3 more championships after Space Jam.
Yeah, he's insanely dedicated. And like, it wouldn't just be the basketball superstars that would play him. Apparently actors would come on and be like, I gotta give this a shot. Like George Clooney was filming ER on the WB lot, and he's like, who says no to a pickup game against Michael Jordan?
Oh, wow.
Right. It was like the ticket. It was so cool.
That's how you know.
And
you
I
made
had
it.
no idea.
Yeah,
I would have loved to go.
On Moron Mountain, it's a theme park on the moon run by Danny DeVito.
Right.
And he's mad because a little alien kid with Shrek ears said it sucks and he wants to go home.
Right. The roller coaster that broke apart and shot him off with his dad. He's like, nah, dude,
this no
ride
fun.
sucks.
I want to know what would have been better. Like what he was hoping to happen.
I mean, I'm guessing the kid didn't want to die or like get close to dying.
Yeah.
That'd have been some prime teenage angst, though.
Finally, my sweet release.
I was just thinking the movie was a little ahead of its time with the customer is not always right. Here.
I mean, that was kind of always the thing.
Yeah.
From someone who's worked at theme parks, that is, no one is ever truly happy.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked at it. That was my first job. Was at a theme park. There's a place in Minnesota called Valley Fair, and the customers are not always right. Sometimes they're extremely wrong.
Yeah, I was at a certain Kingdom of Magic in Florida, and oh boy, everyone thought that they could do whatever they wanted, and you can't.
What department did you work in?
I was on an attraction. I was on the Snow White roller coaster.
Cool.
So I would be,
yeah.
I would be in the front, and it would be like, your child is too short to ride, and they're like, they wrote it 2 years ago, and I'm like,
well, fuck you.
yeah, they're like, do you know I'm an annual pass holder and we ride this all the time? I'm like, cool.
Do you know that doesn't matter?
Well, to me, he's not tall enough, and that means your kid will probably die if he goes on it. So like, no.
Yeah, that sounds like a way better job though than working in foods. I worked at a soft serve stand.
Oof.
And just teenagers coming up to your booth, and I was like 14, but teenagers coming up to your booth and being like, hey, you want to be cool and give us free ice cream? I'm like, I don't know you. Like, I'm never going to see you again in my life.
This is a one-time transaction.
Yeah, it was.
What you think is cool means nothing to me.
It was wild. I was like such a nerd, and I didn't want to make friends. I just wanted to goof off and accidentally spill like a bucket of rag juice in the. Never mind. Never eat soft serve at a theme park, guys.
Rag juice.
It's a new flavor.
Sounds like a Limp Bizkit album.
So all theme parks suck is what we're getting at.
Basically.
That's fair. Yeah.
Specifically Moron Mountain.
Yeah, Moron Mountain's a mess. Slackhammer's got his little lackeys called the Nerdlings.
Hey, yeah, it's Connor from the future here. I know they're called the Nerdlucks. They're called the Nerdlucks. I don't know why I called them the Nerdlings for this entire record, but it happened. Sorry.
And he's desperately trying to find a new attraction, and his ass reveals that the Looney Tunes could be the new attraction, because he can suddenly go from park security footage to Earth TV.
Yeah.
No problem.
It's got a lot of good tech, and then also like 15 to 30 different Looney Tunes episodes on each TV.
For me as a 6-year-old, that's heaven.
I couldn't pay attention to that many different screens at once.
I'd just be looking back and forth and be like, okay, that's my favorite part of Rabbit of Seville. Okay, now I'm gonna go over here, and that's my favorite part of Bang Zoom Whiz or whatever it was called.
Yeah. I think Picture-in-Picture didn't ever really take off because of that.
Because we don't have the attention spans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember how they were like back before cable was on its way out? Comcast and the other ones, they were really trying to make that a thing that you could include.
A feature.
Yeah.
I think we had it for a little bit in like 2009, and I was the only one in my family that used it. And my family would be like, why are you doing this? I'm like, so I can see when the commercial's over on the other channel? Like, isn't that what it's for?
Oh, that's like an advanced use of picture-in-picture. I was just like thinking like, yeah, I could get the news while I watch cartoons, I guess. I don't know.
I could race the
use
news stations against each other and see who gets to the weather first.
Oh, there
Only
you go.
if you could change the size of the box, like it's a computer window.
Yeah, like you're a technical director. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That's
but
something for
yeah,
Netflix to work on.
Picture-in-picture. I'm glad it didn't take off. Like I said, I don't have the attention span. I wouldn't even know how to use it. You told me how to for commercials, but I'd still fuck it up somehow.
I think you've got double the chance of fucking it up then. Like now with the voice remote, that goes wrong enough of the time. Now you've got just two running, and you could just blow it just constantly all the time, and then you go to fix it, and now you're on two completely different bullshit channels.
Yeah, I don't understand the voice remote, but that's a whole other podcast.
Welcome to Tangent Town.
So we see Michael Jordan playing for the minor league White Sox team, and the other teams are like telling him how to win because he's Michael Jordan. Of course you're going to tell Michael Jordan how to win. He's going to autograph your kid's basketball.
And he
Yes,
doesn't
sir.
listen.
And Michael Jordan's not an actor.
No, he is not.
I don't think he's good in this.
So, Michael Jordan isn't good in this.
No, he's not.
But as far as how bad Michael Jordan could have been in this, I would say he does better than you would expect.
I don't know. I'd rather him we'll get to it when he meets the Looney Tunes. I would rather him overreact than, just kind of be flat about it. I feel like that would be a little more entertaining, maybe.
When he reacts to the tunes, or when he's specifically when we're introduced to him in the strikeout scene.
Well, mostly with the tunes, because we'll get his reaction.
Okay.
His reaction to the Looney Tunes is his accountant went, "Hey, your tax refund's gonna be $600 instead of $700," and he's just, "What's going on here?" Not, I'm in a strange cartoon world. I should be panicking. It's just
right.
Huh. But
well, I'm gonna go the opposite direction as you guys. I think Michael Jordan always wanted to portray himself as cool, and I think he was very worried about that while he was filming Space Jam. So I think that he was giving us the quote-unquote cool version of Michael Jordan playing Michael Jordan. You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I was able to kind of distance myself with how I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but stale. How everything was kind of flat.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like he was trying to deliver it a certain way. And for somebody that never acts, I thought it didn't detract from the movie. The theme and the plot, it all worked. And I think that's because he was playing himself.
okay. See, I don't know.
But I do know what you're talking about with the flat delivered lines where he'd extend a hand out to the Looney Tunes and
all right,
everybody,
let's run
play
some drills."
basketball. yeah, exactly. So
It could be a balance thing, too. Because you got to figure 90% of this movie is Michael Jordan standing in a room completely alone.
yeah,
Yeah.
You got
in
to
a
find...
green room.
Yeah. So he's trying to shake Bugs Bunny's hand, and he's trying to figure out, that is Bugs Bunny, and that's crazy, but also I'm standing here, so I gotta do something. I also think he is, out of the basketball players we see in this movie, he's the best actor.
Oh no.
Oh man,
No,
that's
no.
kind of Charles Barkley was a gem.
number one.
When he gets punked by the girls, that was fun. When after Barkley loses his powers and then he has to go play basketball against those girls, and then he just gets his shot blocked, and he's like, "What?" Maybe that was lent to the situation, but that was so fun, and that felt
His extended monologue while saying prayers is perfect.
yeah.
I promise I'll never go out with Madonna again. It's
Yeah,
that
was
whole
part of a
section is the
montage.
best part.
yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
But we are getting way ahead of ourselves. First, we have to meet Wayne Knight, who
Do we?
he's P. Stan Podolak, but he's always just gonna be Al from Al's Toy Barn for me.
Oh yeah, Newman for me, Seinfeld.
But he's an assistant, and he's Wayne Knight freaking out about everything. It's always good.
He could have been getting eaten by a dinosaur, though.
That's
Yeah.
true.
True.
And then
So true.
Then this huge CG spaceship falls into the center of the Earth, and no one cares. Everyone goes, "Whoa, a spaceship," and moves on with their lives. And
Time 1 of 2.
at this point, we're introduced to the fact that the Earth's core is a specifically Warner Brothers branded cartoon world. So
That's right.
this,
Yeah.
you know when you go to school and it's this is the crust, the mantle, Looney Tune land, and the core.
Well, technically, no one has ever been that deep because of how hot it is. So we don't know for 100% certain that the core of the Earth is not made up of Looney Tune land.
That's right.
Sure.
That's right.
And
Forget what you've learned from Journey to the Center of the Earth, whatever bullshit Jules Verne
with
guessed.
Brendan Fraser.
yeah, not even the book, the movie.
We get so the nerdlings are off to take the Looney Tunes and make them the newest attraction and enslave them, and they meet Bugs Bunny, and Bugs does some bug stuff.
Yep.
His voice sounds a lot like Stimpy because it's the same voice actor this time around, which just sounded off to me.
Who's the original Bugs voice actor? Do you know off the top of your head?
Mel Blanc was the original. He died in 1980 something. They were originally going to have Mel Blanc's son voice everyone because Mel Blanc was like most of the Looney Tunes period, except for like a few, except like Elmer Fudd was some other guy, but they couldn't agree on a contract for Mel Blanc's son, so they were like, let's get Billy West and Bill Farmer and D. Bradley Baker, I think one other person who I can't remember.
Damn.
I was a big Looney Tune kid. It's kind of gone away, but
how do you feel about them not going to those go-tos? Missed opportunity?
It just sounds a little off. It's like one of those where, and kind of being hypocritical because I defended the new Kermit voice in the last episode that we recorded, but like it just sounds a little off, and you can like hear the other characters that they do in the voice, so it's a little disconnect for me. But
interesting.
This is also coming from me where I don't like this movie.
Okay.
Like, just to come out with it.
Wow. Burying the hatchet. Wait, that's not the right saying. Burying the lead. Yeah, there we go. Burying the hatchet. What am I talking about?
So, I'm sorry if a lot of the things I say are negative.
No,
I'm surprised it took us 22 minutes to get there.
Yeah, well, it's because we've been talking about stuff that's, like, kind of not super annoying to me in this, because the beginning's kind of fine for me. Mm-hmm. It's kind of when they get to this, I'm like, oh, boy. Oh, no. We cut back to Michael Jordan's house, and he talks to his kids, who have the same names as his real kids, but aren't his real kids.
Mm-hmm.
And his
probably busy with school or something.
Yeah.
Shooting another,
shooting a different movie.
Sure. Yeah.
They're Patrick Ewing's kids in a different movie. They're watching ESPN, and the guy on ESPN is like, Michael Jordan can't play baseball. And his son's like, open up your stance, Dad. And so Michael Jordan flips over to Looney Tunes, where all cartoons are broadcast live, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Because Porky Pig runs in and just interrupts a Roadrunner cartoon. Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
A certain level of suspension of disbelief has to happen here.
I know.
Like, come on. I mean, I thought that too. I was like, wait a second. And then I was like, hold on, Matt. You're dissecting a Looney Tunes movie. So... Especially when they play basketball later together.
Well, yeah, there's no fouls in that game.
Right. Marvin the Martian was very lenient with his calls.
Basketball in the loosest sense of the word.
It's like 2 levels down from street ball.
Yeah. Did you also notice that right when Michael Jordan gets home, his wife is bringing his kids back from the youngest son's baseball game, and they just riff off the head about how he struck out at this game a couple of times, and then she tosses out his average for the season.
Yeah.
And I thought that was insane, because this kid is like 8 or 9.
Man, some sports families are really into it.
Yeah, I think it also depends on where you grow up. Like, so... I grew up in like some little suburb in Minnesota, and we didn't take sports that seriously. But if you grow up in Texas, your parents will know, or like if you grow up in like a big city like that where baseball's huge, they'll know your average, and they'll do the math like after every game.
That's
bonkers.
South Jersey, the only thing that really happened would my dad after a soccer game would be like, all right, his average is 1 goal a season.
It's very
Right.
easy math. Yeah. Mine would be like, you're up to 30 minutes on the year.
So this is the point where the nerdlings, who I just have the IMDb trivia open in another tab, are apparently named Pound, Bang, Naught, Bupkis, and Blanco.
Which one's
Nice.
the blue one?
Blanco. He's the one who's
Tim the
always
best.
high.
Fucking hell yeah.
The Looney Tunes decide that, hey, they're short. We should challenge them to basketball. You know, a very Looney Tune thing to do.
Right. In the sense that they get a chance to defend themselves from being enslaved. They're like, you have to let us challenge you so we can keep our freedom.
And
Which is a weird...
But after we challenge you, you're
That's what we
allowed.
gotta do.
After we challenge you, you're allowed to go away for a while. Like, it's not going to be for a little bit. So you can go to Earth and steal players' talent, beginning with Charles Barkley in a scene that's just...
Chef's kiss.
First of all, you know who the bald guy is in the scene? Like, the husband and wife duo, you know who the husband is?
No.
That's Dan Castellaneta, voice of Homer Simpson.
Wow.
Oh.
Don't know why he's there.
Just your average fan?
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing, but he's just like, I have good tickets for the game, honey. I want to watch the game. And the wife is like, so all the nerdlings are in a coat and
Right,
hat,
they're in
so
the
you can't
classic
see the face.
Stacked on top of each other in a trench coat disguise.
And so Dan Castellaneta's wife is going, honey, this man next to me is masturbating. And he's like, shut up. I have good seats.
Some
We're
of
in
the
the
jokes that this
garden.
movie has time for. Like that one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there was another one of those when they were doing the the doctor was asking Charles Barkley if he's had any other performance issues referencing his penis. He's like, no.
It's
the
always an
monsters
interesting
took that too.
choice. Like, the execs were sitting down and they were like, this movie is aimed at kids. They're like, what can we throw in?
Yeah,
Yeah.
what can we sneak in for the adults?
Hey, what do
Yeah.
the Looney Tunes do? They got guns and the drum at the end and jerking off jokes, right? I think that's what they did.
That sounds
It's been a
right.
long time. So the aliens can turn into translucent goo and steal talent, which, why didn't they just do that to the Looney Tunes and then they would be the comedians for the park? But again, a movie has to happen.
Right.
Almost more than talent. That was like a basketball themed lobotomy.
Pretty much.
Right.
They
So
forget how
precise.
to do anything.
But they can still walk.
Right.
They can still do stuff.
They have like
you know?
fine
not
motor
related to
skills but no
basketball.
reflexes.
Right. Right. They probably go play baseball. Or
That
football.
could have been funny if they did another like a short scene of them all signing up for the Barons.
yeah. We should write for these guys.
They all make another sport. This is how the XFL began.
It's too soon.
Is it?
I was all in on last season. I was ready
Hey, I
for
mean-
there to be more football.
It was bought by The Rock. I mean, I think it'll. I mean, they got it at a bargain price, and I think it'll come back as long as they don't, schedule it in the spring. Try to do what the that old league did. I forget the name of it. It was in the 70s or 80s.
Oh yeah.
CFL. I don't.
Yeah.
No.
Probably something
X-
XFL at least.
AFFL, yeah, you could look it up. But if they just do spring football, after the Super Bowl, before the draft, that would be an excellent league.
And it was before the Corona. It was working all right. The new rules were kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it wasn't anybody you'd see funneled into an NFL team.
Well,
It's kind of like heightened college, but it was still fun to watch.
remember there was the Steelers quarterback Tommy Maddox. He came from the XFL, didn't he?
From
I'm not sure.
This
From
was
the
like-
original in 2000, or the one from this past year?
Yeah. Tommy Maddox. Yeah, he's in the NFL and the XFL. So
Neat.
professional. The Los Angeles Extreme.
It's a good name.
And then he went to the Steelers in 2001. Anyway, like I think the best of the best could definitely be drafted by the NFL, especially if they're not playing at the same time.
Right.
Anyway,
But
This alien goo turns the nerdlings into the Monstars, big, hulking, basketball proficient alien creatures, which makes Porky Pig pee himself, which is the line that was singled out by one of the original Looney Tunes directors as being like, this is what is wrong with this movie. This is why I hate this.
specifically Porky Pig peeing himself?
Yeah, Chuck Jones was like, Porky Pig does not need to make potty humor jokes. This is a bad film.
I don't know, man. He's full on. You could say Porky Pig in it. He is Porky Pig.
It's true.
You know?
He's got He's got no pants to wet.
Right.
I feel like we're heading into controversy area.
The silliest one around.
And this is right around when Michael Jordan gets abducted into Looney Tune Land through a golf hole when he's playing a game with Bill Murray and Larry Bird. Which, Bill Murray, they're just letting him do whatever he wants. I'm sure he didn't have a script.
I think so too. Either that or they gave him something and he didn't read any of it.
I don't even know if he was contracted to be in this. They just were playing golf and he showed up. He's like, hey, I'll do a few rounds. And they're like, we're shooting a movie. He's like, I know.
Well, do you know about getting Bill Murray into films?
Yeah,
Or getting him to sign on to a project?
you have to like call a 1-800 number. He doesn't have an agent or something.
Yeah.
You like need to.
There's a whole there's an article about the process that they went through, and I forget what movie it was for. Maybe we can drop that for here.
I think it was
but
for
that's what it is.
Saint
It's like
Vincent,
he's
right.
yeah, and he's just completely unlisted, and you got to look up this number, and then you got to keep fighting for it. Like, and Bill Murray will contact you back, and then he'll invite you out to his house to do like weird shit, not skeevy weird shit, like
Right.
Caddyshack flavored weird shit.
Right.
And then you keep going on this process until he signs on. So I think it's interesting that Bill Murray signed on to this project because he's so specific with his time and what he does.
I wonder
That
when
means
he
it's
started
great.
doing that. Do you know when he started doing that? Because like I feel like he's
Some
like
of the other ones he picked.
It must have been.
yeah, I mean, like, this one probably, because, like, if he got the chance to meet Jordan, and then, like, he was only supposed to be in that golf scene, and he saw how they were filming Jordan on green screen, and he's like, oh, I want to be a part of the end game. So he comes back.
On this.
Yeah. So it was kind of wild how that all came together, but I had no idea it was such a goofster about his movie selection process.
That's why he's
That's
not in
nuts.
much nowadays.
Wow. Go get him.
Bill Murray's great. He's being funny. He's trying to get into the NBA because of all the players losing their talent. He's like, I can do it. Something about being white shows up, and he's like, "This, what? I can't do it because I'm white." And Michael Jordan's like, "Well, Larry Bird's white." Bill Murray says, "Larry's not white. Larry's clear." That's just a good line.
Bill Murray was funny 100% of the time in this film.
It's
Yeah, he
true.
was great.
And this is when Michael Jordan lands in Looney Tune Land and kind of just takes it all in stride, as you said, trying to be cool. But he's just like,
Very
yeah,
cool.
that's Bugs Bunny. He's yelling at me about how he's going to be a slave. And Daffy Duck's, looking through my ear. This is fine. This is weird.
You got a whole paperclip in there.
Yeah, they had to recruit him because they knew they were going to lose to the Monstars. And do we list everyone's talent that they stole yet? Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Muggsy Bogues, Sean Bradley, and Larry Johnson. Are you guys familiar with basketball a lot or no?
Mostly just Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, and Muggsy were like the three names I knew and recognized.
I had to look up
here.
Larry Johnson because it'd been a while and I wasn't proficient on my 90s basketball.
Mm-hmm.
All of them great players, though. And, yeah, he was really cool in that gym scene, huh? And that's when we meet Lola Bugs as well.
Yeah, Lola Bunny is
Lola Bunny, yeah.
her personality seems to be sexy and hates being called doll, and that's it.
She's
And-
a feminist icon.
And Bugs revealed his misogyny.
Yeah.
He treats her like a sex object. And I think Daffy Duck kissed his own butt.
That's yep.
That was
True.
branded with the WB
Yeah, he
logo.
mentioned she's a property of Warner Brothers and all their subsidiaries, and then in my notes I wrote Daffy kiss him own ass.
Yeah, I wrote that too.
And the Monstars come in and they're threatening Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan's like, I do not play basketball. I play baseball forever now. So they turn him into a horrifying CGI basketball with his face.
Yeah.
That looked like an old Windows the screensaver.
That looks like a Windows 3 screensaver if it's threatening to eat you.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about. I was picturing the things bouncing around, but you're
Yeah.
talking about the morphing
one.
ball.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I hate...
Probably similar operating system.
There's
that they
one
built
other
in.
movie where I've seen that effect happen, and both times it has just put me just way on edge. It freaks me out.
What was the other movie?
The Shaquille O'Neal genie movie, Kazam.
You know, I've
It's
never
another
seen it.
basketball classic. We missed it.
Kazam is on Disney Plus now.
Nice.
Welcome to no free throw option.
Well, I mean, this is kind of like interesting because like this movie broke the record for the most composite shots in a feature film with roughly 1,043.
Wow.
So like it didn't look great, but at the same time they broke the record, you know? So that's kind of neat that we watched a history landmark film, you know?
something
Yeah.
happening. And again, I just found the gross of $230 million worldwide. Highest grossing basketball movie ever.
It's nuts.
And it's a legacy, which is why the sequel is subtitled A New Legacy.
Oh, did they get R. Kelly to come back for that one?
Ooh, we'll see. No, they got the mask back for it somehow. There's like a leaked set video of the Space Jam 2 rap party, and they're like filming all of the just extras. And then there are extras dressed as like Pennywise and the Wicked Witch of the West and Agent Smith from The Matrix and The Mask.
Warner Brothers, baby.
Yeah, people are like,
90s were weird.
oh, it's going to be like the Ready Player One of Warner Brothers. And I'm like, we already had that. It was called The Lego Movie, but I guess we're doing it with Space Jam now?
I'm all in.
When did the sequel come out? That was like a couple years later. They're
It's
trying to print money.
of the Space Jam sequel?
Yeah.
No, it's coming out in 2 years, I think.
Oh, what?
It's LeBron James and Bugs Bunny.
Wow. I didn't know that.
And it's legitimately called Space Jam: A New Legacy. Which
Damn.
It's
Okay.
gonna kickstart the Jamiverse.
my joke is always that's like making a sequel and calling it Harry and the Hendersons Bloodlines or something. Like that's such a weird subtitle.
I didn't know that was happening. That's nuts.
Yeah, man, it's everything I've seen about it. I'm just like, I don't know, what are they doing?
I'll be interested to see how LeBron does in comparison to MJ.
Right.
Yeah.
And this will cement who's better as a basketball player on the whole.
This will end the debate.
Yeah.
Speaking of the better basketball player, MJ has to teach them all how to play basketball because apparently they've never played before. And yet that was
Well,
their
they think it's a
challenge.
fast-paced razzle-dazzle game.
Right.
Right.
It's like challenge them to something else next time, you friggin' idiots.
Just do the rabbit season, duck season thing, and then you'll win.
Yeah.
But in order for them to play basketball, they have to get Michael Jordan's North Carolina shorts, so Bugs and Daffy have to go to 3D land to steal his pants.
And does this mean that Michael can't leave of his own free will to get his own shorts? Does this mean that Michael is a slave to the Looney Tunes now?
Oh, that's a great point. I think he's just used to people doing stuff for him at this point, you know?
That's fair.
Yeah.
He's such a superstar where he's just like, you know, hey, I need McDonald's. Hey, I need this Burger King or whatever they're selling.
Also,
Go get it.
he probably doesn't know how to get back and forth, and Bugs and Daffy are like, oh, we've got this. We know how to become a
Right.
digging effect under the grass in like 2
Stretch
seconds.
through a golf hole or whatever.
Although, to be fair, that little digging effect that they have is a good effect. I laughed at that. That looked nice.
Yeah. And also a fun joke. The only thing I liked of Wayne Knight, him digging the hole to get back to Michael because he's like working for the baseball minor league club. He's like trying to find Michael for the game. And he's just digging a hole. And some golfer comes up to him. And he's like, hey, what are you doing? He's like, fixing a divot. And I was like, that got a laugh out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But otherwise hated Wayne Knight in this movie.
I do love a Wayne Knight, but he really isn't given much to do.
Right.
And he's also the source. He's also another source of just abject CGI terror later in the film.
Oh, yeah.
Although he does have that that on the borderline of impressive rattle off of product placement all at once.
Yeah, is that satire or is that just a line?
Which scene
I
was
couldn't
that again?
when Jordan's in the hotel and he comes in and he's like, come on, you got a game, you gotta grab your Nike or grab your Hanes, lace up your Nikes, grab some Powerade and get going.
Nice.
There was another one.
Wait.
I forgot about that.
Oh, it
That's
was
pretty
on the
good.
It was on the trivia page, the whole monologue. Where is it? Come on, Michael, it's game time. Slip on your Hanes, lace up your Nikes, take your Wheaties and your Gatorade, and we'll grab a Big Mac on the way to the ballpark.
That's it.
Hell yeah.
Keep
So-
him
Hell
with the
yeah.
roots.
Bugs and Daffy get the shorts and the shoes and everything from 3D Land after running into Charlie the Bulldog, which is apparently named Charles Barkley. That's cute. That's a dog name.
Aww.
Whoop. Did my power just go out?
Da-ba-ba-da.
Love that zoom.
Should we just wait? Is he gonna...
Yeah, I think we should.
Oh, that's bad.
Man, you know, we were talking about it earlier, and I felt like the moment passed, but since Connor's gone for a second, like, man, I felt like Jordan's acting could totally be described as commercial acting. You know? Now that you've triggered me with those product placement speech with Wayne Knight's speech, like, yeah, he's used to holding up a sandwich and being like, good. Like, that's
Not
what this movie
maintaining
is, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Well, yeah, that's where this started. I think it was a Super Bowl spot.
Yeah. That's wow. This is really just commercial acting.
Which, yeah. So, I mean, through the lens of that, it's fantastic.
I mean, I'm just discussing where it came from. I don't think it's fantastic, but I don't want to defend it too hard. I'm trying to understand, you know,
How we got there. Yeah.
right? But okay, let's figure out where Connor went. And
All right. So, they get his shorts. That's where we
Yep.
were, right?
that's right.
There's
Get my North Carolina shorts. I need them. I don't play without them.
There's some weird stuff with every time they see the dog, it's a regular dog, but they give him cartoon eyes to look at Bugs and Daffy,
That's what it was.
and it's just Uncanny Valley.
Interesting. Maybe that's what they tried to do to break the record. You know, they just
Yeah.
had to get them
Pop
in
weird
everywhere.
places.
A little cartoon
know?
here, a little cartoon there.
Right.
It looked something with the way they shot it. It always made it look like the dog was huge.
Yeah, it's a pretty small dog. It's a bulldog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that might have been like a perspective thing. Like they were trying to go for something there.
Well, that's also how tall are the Looney Tunes, because, like, I don't know,
4 something.
Yeah, in
They
the
say it.
in the beginning it's like, Lola Bunny
Oh,
is
right.
3'6" and Bugs Bunny is 4' something, but Michael Jordan's like 6'6". It kind of looks similar. Whatever.
Yeah. What are those mouses who are the announcers for the big game? What are those guys' names?
Oh my god, I don't remember.
I love how they have the announcer's voice and they're just little mice. That's a lot
Yeah.
of fun. Anyway,
they
sorry.
were definitely like B tier characters that like
Right.
kind of just wanted cheese.
Yeah. Yeah, almost like Tom and Jerry, but that's not WB, is it?
It is now, I think. It was MGM, but like buying rights.
Okay.
But speaking of B tier Looney Tunes, they fill out like the entire stadium in the big game, which, you know, little dweeby brain.
It's great.
Yeah, little dweeby brain from when I was a child. I was like, it's the Dover Boys and Pete Puma and Witch Hazel and like all these.
Holy shit.
Damn.
That's a deep dive.
Oh, I had like one of those like visual encyclopedias, and I would just always stare at it and be like, I remember all of them. This is
That's
how I'll make
awesome.
friends. So yeah, it's game time now. Oh, also, Bugs and Daffy meet Michael Jordan's kids, and they're like, keep our existence a secret, child.
Shh. Yep. A little creepy. Little R. Kelly vibes.
It was ahead of its time.
So it's time for the game. It's the Monstars versus the Toon Squad. Marvin the Martian being the ref because he's an alien but also a Looney Tunes. A nice little touch. He's even ground.
I was telling Luke earlier, I think it was like right before the big game, I felt like this movie was kind of odd in that it like kind of predicted present day, in that the NBA players weren't gonna play, you know, because these ailments were happening to these superstars, and they're like, we don't know if we can catch this. But it's like, it's kind of funny juxtaposition to the 2020 NBA where they're like, no, we're gonna play. It's a pandemic. Who cares? Y'all are gonna stay in Florida.
Y'all
It's
are
gonna be a
gonna
bubble.
live in Disney hotels.
Yeah,
Who knew that Space Jam would handle it better
Yeah.
right.
than real life?
That was a strange part of the beginning of this year where all the theme park Twitter that I follow and like the very little sports Twitter was crossing over of like, all right, the Sixers are this seed and that's why they're staying in the Grand Floridian versus the Pacers, which are this seed who are staying in Coronado Springs Resort. And I was
That's
like,
nuts.
this is insane.
Yeah, I did like that tweet. I think some it was like a hot girl tweet was like, this is a text I got, you know, the virus is gonna be breaking through, and she was just like invited into quarantine. You know, just like, you know, come on, hang out.
Come on, we're good.
And she's like, they're not gonna make it. And then that tweet went viral, so it was pretty funny. Anyway,
First half of this game, the Monstars obliterate the Toon Squad. So much so that the scoreboard says it's kind of one-sided, ain't it? And during halftime, Michael Jordan tries to give a big pep talk. Stan tries to spy on the Monstars, which seems out of nowhere. Oh, Stan made it to Looney Tune Land, by the way.
yeah,
It's because he was a Michael Jordan stan.
Sure.
They were ahead of their time in lots of stuff.
Anyone
in this
who was
movie.
named Stan was ahead of their time. Michael Jordan tries to give a speech, and Stan
doesn't work.
does not work. Stan finds out about the missing talent from the other players, and Bugs Bunny writes Michael's secret stuff on a thing of water, and it's like, here is your steroid juice, buddy. We're
Right.
all gonna drink steroid juice.
Yeah, and for all we know, we don't know what was in it. I mean, you probably assume it's water, you know, and you're just giving people that confidence to like do well, but we're in Looney Tune Land. That could be actual steroid water.
Anything flies.
It's loony
You know?
water.
It could be, it could be anything, really.
Daffy says something about like this goes against everything they told me in health class.
Yeah,
So, like,
it's CBD oil.
I guess like to try to instill a message in this movie.
Yeah,
like-
not a good one either. It's
Yeah.
like you can't triumph on its own. You should really just believe in a higher power, and that can be Michael Jordan's sweat or Michael Jordan's water.
And so then they start doing real well, and they start doing some Looney Tunes stuff. Like Bugs has a motorcycle all of a sudden.
Right,
And,
traveling for sure.
People are getting squished. Elmer Fudd and Yosemite Sam do a Pulp Fiction for a second.
Yep, pull out their guns and shoot out all the teeth of a monster.
That's super weird.
Where was that the first half?
Yeah, where was that
Where
cash
were
in
your
the
guns?
first half?
Well, my question is, you have, as I said earlier, Gossamer is a big monster, so have the monster take on the monsters. And why doesn't Roadrunner ever get the ball?
Sure. You can't dribble.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's actually a
Traveling.
good point.
There's some really terrible Foghorn Leghorn jokes in there as well, where he got charred and he's like making fun of himself. He was roasting himself.
Hey. Oh, yeah,
I don't know. I didn't like Foghorn Leghorn parts, but I thought I would. He didn't.
Yeah, he's.
The voice sounded kind of funky, and I don't know if that was like a different thing.
I think Foghorn might have also been Bill Farmer, and it's him and Sylvester, because Sylvester was definitely Bill Farmer, and Bill Farmer, in case you don't know, is the voice of Goofy and has been for a long time. And sometimes Sylvester says some things that sound very like they just have the Goofy intonation. I'm like, that's doesn't fit with me. Not my bag, buddy. But
Yeah, for a Looney Tunes stickler, I imagine this must have been hell for you.
yeah. I think that's part of like just the obsession with it as a kid has made me go to like with this.
Have you
movie.
looked up the casting on the new one?
It's mostly one like the new HBO Max ones.
The new
Oh, the new Space Jam.
the new Space Jam.
I
Are they getting like the
I
real?
think it's the main guy who's doing all of them now, who's named like Eric Bauza, I believe.
He does all the voices.
He does a lot of them.
Wow.
Don Cheadle's gonna be in it. Sorry, I'm on the IMDb.
As Don Cheadle or as a Looney Tune?
Or maybe as like LeBron's handler. What if
do-
LeBron went to play baseball?
Yeah, Don Cheadle is the new Wayne Knight.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. The plot's got to change because this parallels Michael Jordan's life. And so in Space Jam 2, like, what's going to be, like, the inciting incident in the B plot?
I mean, the joke is
If
always
they got on it fast,
the
they
joke
could
is
do a
always
Corona
he's
thing.
gonna take his talent to the Monstars. Yeah, it says. Oh, there's 2 Bugs Bunny voices. That's weird. It's Eric Bauza or Jeff Bergman, but they've done a lot of stuff.
Okay. Interesting.
I'm just looking at all of the. What?
Yeah, I was just curious because I feel like a lot of times they do it better now in the 2020 reboot era where they have it to a science. They know that paying homage to the original actors can pay off, you know.
Right.
I feel like they've learned their lesson there versus like the 90s. They probably would have cut all the corners they could besides like, hey, we got to get Michael Jordan. You know, like
That's essential.
we can't have some other shitty actor in there.
Yeah.
Like we can't have like the second best basketball player in there. Like we need the best basketball player, you know?
But this is so. I'm sorry. I'm just looking at the character list for the new one. There's a whole bunch of Casablanca characters, like Casablanca Fezman,
Awesome.
or Trinity from The Matrix is the same person who's the voice of Granny. What? All right. This is. I mean, I guess I'm gonna see it. The guy who directed Black Panther wrote it, so like I have to see it.
Oh yeah, we do love Coogler. But you figure like these are very known, popular characters. People have impressions, and people have impressions that they don't necessarily lead with. Like when when Bewitched came out, love it or hate it, not the best movie. But Steve Carell has the uncle.
Uncle Arthur.
And yeah, and that's a pretty good Uncle Arthur that he's doing. And it seems like that is something that he had in his pocket. And so you wonder if, like, Trinity from The Matrix has had, like, on her special skills, on her resume.
Can do granny.
Yeah!
It's possible.
Yeah.
Or Cheadle has something.
Oh, and there's
all of them.
also the whole, Don Cheadle is Daffy Duck.
Right.
So
My eyes just went wide there. I was like,
I mean, he's already played Donald Duck
oh, yes?
in the new DuckTales reboot. They give Donald a little, like, make your voice
God.
sound good thing, and all of a sudden it's Don Cheadle.
God damn.
It's a good show.
I don't know anything about my man's career. This is nuts.
So
He has a duck
Michael
thing.
Jordan talks to Slackhammer and is like, look, if the Monstars win, you don't have to take the Looney Tunes, you can take me. And
A decision he does not double check with his wife or children.
Yeah.
his wife
My
doesn't
man
know
loves
where
to
he
gamble
is.
in real life, too.
Right.
I thought that was another fun parallel is when he's like, I love to gamble,
Yeah.
and you know I'll be gambling in Space Jam. Like, that was that was great.
That wasn't in the script. That was just a gut reaction.
Yeah. They're like, I guess we have to rewrite this scene.
Oh. At this point, Stan goes into the game after everyone gets injured, and he's flattened like a pancake. But thankfully, Charlie the dog and the big bulldog, I forget his name, come in to reinflate Stan in, again, nightmare-inducing CGI.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when Michael Jordan finds out you can do cartoon physics in Looney Tune Land. Even though, wouldn't he have figured that out from becoming a basketball earlier?
I don't know.
Right.
But,
this is your classic movie plot, though. Your hero just
Yeah.
found out he has a special weapon. And, yeah, there's a lot that doesn't make sense.
But
I was wondering, so Wayne Knight gets squashed, and he's holding the ball, and it bounces and it goes in the hoop, and that's a point for them because he was holding the ball.
2 points.
I was wondering, what's the real life equivalent of, like, somebody is standing on the court and they drop dead, and when they drop dead, the ball bounces and goes in.
Oh, I can't think of a basketball equivalent, but I think like a hit by pitch in baseball.
yeah.
Awarding them first base after getting beamed in the head,
Yeah.
and they're like unconscious or
I know
whatever.
there was a recent Final Four or NCAA tournament thing where someone like completely shattered their ankle while trying to do a layup shot, and I think he got it, but like also his foot bone was completely sticking out of his leg, so it might be a similar thing, just less goofy.
Yeah. They
This-
really made it fun in this movie, huh?
Yeah. This is Stan, because Stan is now, I don't know, somehow traumatized. They need another new player, and thankfully Bill Murray can show up because he's friends with the producer, which
Basically, yeah.
which is true because this is produced by Ivan Reitman for some reason.
Well, yeah, and Matt, you were saying in the beginning that he was only supposed to be in that one scene.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then he saw how they were filming it, and he's like, I want to do this as well. And then the writers were like, it doesn't need to make sense. He'll just show up and he'll do his thing.
He'll say some
Don't even
stuff.
give him lines. He's just gonna come
He's
in.
gonna say exactly what happened.
He'll talk to Daffy a little bit, you know,
Right.
just Bill Murray things.
Yeah. And you know what? Like, he can just repeat the same things and rehash what he said in the first scene. You know, he wants to play. He's a white player, and he gets to finally have his moment. But it was funny. Like, he's like, oh, I don't play defense. That was pretty funny.
Yeah. And also how he doesn't know anyone's names. It's just Bunny, give it to Duck, who will slam it to Girl Bunny, back to me.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And at this point, Michael Jordan, with only a few seconds left, stretches his arm all the way across the court to make the shot, and they win the game by 1 point. Hooray.
Hell yeah.
And-
the half-court dunk.
The Monstars give back all the talent to the NBA players. And when the Monstars and the Nerdlings again, they're like, can we stay with the Looney Tunes? Look, we're going to become franchise-featured characters. And we never saw them again.
Rip.
I did like that little minute of where they were like, oh, "Are you loony enough?" And they did that little dance. I laughed at that.
Yeah, they all like little hats.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan arrives at his baseball game in a spaceship. Nobody is fazed by his spaceship. Everyone's just like, "Oh, good, it's Michael Jordan. Thank God."
Mm-hmm. Wayne
And-
Knight announces, "Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Jordan," and then they played more R. Kelly.
Yeah.
And he came out, and
And that's it. And then he announced his return to the Chicago Bulls.
that's right.
Just like in real life, this was all based on a true story.
Right. This was during the off season. You know, this is what we didn't see.
This is what happens to all sports stars during the off season. Didn't you
Yeah.
ever hear Derek Jeter talk about the summer he had to play baseball in order to save the Animaniacs from being nuked?
I'd watch it.
So Connor, you didn't like this.
Not really, no.
No redeeming parts.
I mean, there's some redeeming stuff. Bill Murray's good. There are some lines that like get a chuckle, but overall, it's a cynical and crass commercial instead of like trying to be a fun movie, I think.
Okay.
And like it is
That's-
based off a commercial. It's based off a popular Super Bowl commercial where it was Bugs Bunny and Michael Jordan playing together. It's just
Right.
it's never vibed with me. It's never sat right.
Yeah, when you were gone earlier, me and Luke were talking, and I think like that Wayne Knight line to Michael Jordan, where you're saying, grab the Wheaties and McDonald's or whatever, and he did all the product placements. I was like, oh my gosh, this is basically a commercial.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that's how he's acting, and like that's why it seems so flat. But
Movies based off commercials don't have to be bad. Earlier in our show, we did Little Giants, which is a very cute and entertaining movie, and that's based off a McDonald's commercial of kids playing Pee-wee football. Like, there are even lines taken directly from that commercial in the movie, and the movie turned out good, and this one didn't, for me.
I think
damn,
this one is also cute and entertaining.
Luke, the other side of the coin.
And also kind of the majority opinion, it seems.
The heads to the tails. What? I also liked. I thought. I mean, like overall, if you can get past, R. Kelly being spliced in
So
here and
prominent.
there, and being a major part of the film, I think a lot of like Fly songs are in there. There's also Fly Like an Eagle, but
He was
overall, just I thought it was fun. I thought it was a lot of fun. And it has a special place in my childhood, and I was glad to see that it didn't completely shit the bed on a rewatch.
Well, speaking of
Second.
all of that, this is when we get into our criteria about specifically comparing it to The Pacifier. So first off, how's the soundtrack? It rules. It's got great songs on it.
With one caveat.
Besides, and also there's and Luke was a part of this. I hosted a radio show in college with my friends, and every time I would go on, my dad would text me and request that I play Basketball Jones from this movie's soundtrack, which is a song by Barry White and Chris Rock. Because it's a cover of a Cheech and Chong song, and it plays for a little bit in the scene where Charles Barkley gets decimated by the teenage girls. But it's a very annoying song, and I don't like it. And every week he would be like, when are you going to play Basketball Jones? I'm like, when are you going to get off my back?
See, I expected Basketball Jones. Like, I knew it was coming, and I remembered being annoyed by it. And then it played, and I was vibing.
It only played the Barry White part. That's why.
We vibing. We vibing. Nice. You know what I was expecting that I didn't get was the Bulls intro song when Jordan returns to the Bulls at the very end. That would have added another element of nostalgia, but overall great soundtrack though.
Next up, how does the main actor land on the Dieselometer, which is a comparison on Vin Diesel's performances based on charm and ability. Main actor is Michael Jordan, and I just put he's the lowest of the low. He's like Vin Diesel appearing in an awkward interview.
Wow.
I also have an interview on mine.
You have a specific one, though?
I do have a specific one. There is an interview that Vin Diesel did on Good Morning Britain, where he's talking about, I think it's Fast Five is the movie that he's there for. But he just starts doing this Cockney accent, this really, really rough one, and it's like out of nowhere. And the host is just trying to ask him about stuff, and he's just riffing off on this, and he keeps going back to it. He's saying things that he's like saying chitty chitty bang bang and like Mary Poppins. Like, it's like when you do a bad French accent and you just keep saying Sacre Bleu, but it's that. And it's...
No, you do me better than I do. That too. I knew you could.
No. The fact that I can see these stunts recreated.
You must have been crazy for chitty chitty bang bang. I'll tell you everything about it, everything.
I knew you'd squeal like a pig.
You know, it's out of place. It's a little confusing, but it's fun as hell. And I'm all for it.
All right.
Wow. All right. I mean, you know, Jordan's performance was flat, but like I said earlier, I think he was trying to be a cool guy. And, you know, I think that kind of relates to Triple X. I haven't seen it, but I know it's about a snowboard secret agent who's probably delivering a lot of flat lines.
Yeah.
So I think that would probably be my Vin Dieselometer from Triple X.
And next up, did I like this as a kid, or would I have liked this as a kid? I think when I was younger, I didn't really get it all the way. I think I was just like Looney Tunes. I like that. And then as I got older, didn't enjoy.
I did. Still do.
I'm with Luke on this one. 2 thumbs up. Past me, present me.
It's the one thing we can all agree on. What has the director gone on to do? This was directed by Joe Pytka. He has only done music videos since. This is his only feature film.
Oh, damn.
I think he might have directed the Pepsi commercial where it was like Pink and Madonna and...
Oh, the Caitlyn Jenner Pepsi commercial where
No.
she solves world peace.
Not that one.
That's what I was worried you were going to say when you said Pepsi.
Oh no, it's just like a lot of Britney Spears music videos, it looks like, about Pepsi.
Nice.
And the Fly...
Specifically, those two things together all the time?
Yeah, Fly Like an Eagle, the song that's in this, he directed the music video for that.
Okay.
But yeah, he's kind of just... Last thing
You did a
he-
Michael Jackson song, I guess?
Looks
That's
like
cool.
it. All right. Next up, is there anything in this that is as memorable as the Peter Panda dance from the pacifier? Luke, what'd you have for this first?
The secret stuff scene.
Okay. I was thinking the theme song.
Also fair.
Everybody loves that theme song. Everybody get up, it's time to slam now.
Okay. I'm watching a clip of this real quick. The Peter Panda dance, for anybody that doesn't know what it is, I'm sure you do by now, is horrifying.
It's a dance to get a kid to go to sleep, and it turns out to be a secret code.
Yeah, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Maybe I might have to come back to that, but I might just pass.
That's completely understandable. Next up, who is the insane and memorable side character in this film, similar to Brad Garrett or Carol Kane from The Pacifier? I put Bill Murray.
Didn't
That's a
get
good
enough
one.
screen time for me. It's got to be Wayne Knight. I mean, as much as I didn't like him, he was there, you know, and he's just like a goofy, you know.
I say the blue alien, the one who's high all the time, but only when he's the small one and he has the voice.
It is weird that when the blue one turns big, he has, like, Patrick Ewing's exact head.
Yeah,
Like-
I think that they could have gone that way with it. I think that they should have done their voices were the Monstars when they switched. Either that or they didn't change them at all.
Or they like looked incredibly specific to...
Not even, they didn't have to look exactly like them, but if it was like they were talking and it was Charles Barkley and Muggsy and Ewing, you know, like that could have been fun.
I would love to hear Charles Barkley go and a giant alien monster Charles Barkley call Michael Jordan Wussy Man.
Yeah, right?
I would love to hear that.
Definitely. I feel like as a producer, like I'm putting myself in a producer's shoes right now. I would kill myself if I had to work with that many basketball talents.
Yeah.
You know, where you're just like, none of these people can voice act or act, and I'm doing my goddamn best to hide one person doing green screen acting, which is his own skill that we haven't developed yet. It's 1996, for God's sake.
Now we got to do 5 of them.
At least this is going to make some money, right?
Yeah. Oh my God.
And is there anything as batshit insane as the Sound of Music subplot from The Pacifier, which, in case you don't remember, Seth, one of the boys that Vin Diesel is watching, is discovered at school with bleached hair and a Nazi armband in his locker. Everyone believes he is a Nazi until Vin Diesel follows him on a bicycle to find out he's just playing Rolf in a community theater production of The Sound of Music. This subplot is introduced with 20 minutes left in the film, and it lasts for 2 scenes.
Let's see here. I think it's got to be the kids hiding the secret that they know about Michael's other game, which is a throwaway subplot where Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck give them the symbol, and then the kids later on at the baseball game they're like, "Oh, Daddy's not here yet. He said his other game," and it's just like such a okay.
And the mom's like, "Where is my husband?"
Right.
What are you talking about?
What do you mean other game? The man's been missing for 48 hours.
For me, it's the whole Looney Tunes living in the center of the earth thing. I cannot get over it.
I say the way that this movie ends, because you have to believe that now Michael Jordan has stepped off this spaceship onto the baseball diamond and then told people this story. And everybody was like, okay. Because the basketball season had ended. They had, as we were talking about earlier, they had like put the bug tent over the stadium, and they're talking about how there's maybe this disease that's spreading around. And you have to think that now Michael Jordan is playing for the Bulls again. Basketball has started again. That's how they solved it. Him and those 5 guys had to go up probably in front of the press and say, aliens stole our talent, and we got it back.
Because Michael played with the Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Also,
wow.
In this world, Michael Jordan is the first human to have first contact with alien life, which is
I'd believe it.
Kind of crazy.
Good ambassador at the time.
True. And last but not least, Luke, do you have your ranking for this? Your nonsense ranking?
Yeah. This is, I feel like kind of probably already knows where I'm going. This is the godfather of Looney Tunes basketball Michael Jordan crossover movies. It's fun, which at the end of the day is like what movies are about. Still not better than The Pacifier.
Still not better. Wow, I'm shocked.
Whoa.
I thought this was going to be your first big better.
No, what did I give? Mrs. Doubtfire got the first better.
Right.
Wow.
For me, I give this 2 obscure crowd cartoons out of 12. So I guess that would be Slowpoke Rodriguez and Hippity Hoppity the kangaroo that boxes. And it's not even close to as good as The Pacifier.
Dang, guys. I haven't seen it, so I'm excited to see The Pacifier at some point. So I'm going to abstain, but I have a hunch I'm going to like Space Jam more. But based on the trailer, Pacifier doesn't look that bad, you know? It looks like maybe like a little hidden gem, if you will.
It's an innocent, fun family movie with a weird undercurrent of just strange.
Right.
Well, speaking of movies to watch, it's time to play the Coming Attractions game, where Matt here is going to give us hints, and we have to figure out what movie we are watching for our next episode. So take it away, Matt.
Okay, so you guys compete to see who gets it first based on the clues?
It's really who can figure it out
Bragging rights?
in general.
Yeah. It's mostly a wash because I never get it.
Okay. Well, all right. So, first clue. This movie's from 2008. I don't expect you to get it right away. It takes place in Tucson, Arizona. Okay. It's starring Steve Coogan. Okay. It is it's a sequel to a
Oh my god.
to a play, I guess.
I have not thought about this movie in ages.
Me either. I don't know what it is.
Are you excited, Connor?
I think so, honestly. It's been a bit. There are some musical numbers in it that can be considered a bit risque.
Mm-hmm. 5 acts. Let's go.
Oh god, I don't know how else to describe this.
Well, why don't you hit us with the title?
Is this Hamlet 2?
That's right.
Oh,
the
shit.
Deuce. All right. I'm kind of excited to revisit this.
I watched it this year, and I was torn between giving you guys Adventures in Babysitting just to be closer to the pacifier, and then I kind of went down a rabbit hole, and I was like, oh, fuck. I have to give these guys a taste of Arizona because, man, I lived in Arizona for like the last 6 years, and this movie captures it perfectly. Tucson, Arizona, and it's just a little indie gem with a lot of fun numbers in it.
All right. Well,
I'm excited.
yeah, I'm really excited. Thank you very much again, Matt, for Hamlet 2 and for coming on. Do you have anything you want to plug?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Well, we said earlier, I do a movie podcast called I Drink Your Podcast, or if you guys play Fortnite or whatever, I do Just Chatting in Fortnite on Twitch at FatManderson. So check either of those things out if you please.
Cool.
Right on.
And be sure to follow us on our social medias. All are at NoHighwayPod, or email us nohighwaypod@gmail.com. Be sure to rate us on iTunes and tell your friends. Next week, we get to rock some Sexy Jesus with Hamlet 2. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. Do you have anything, Luke?
No. This has been fun. Thanks for coming on, Matt.
Thanks for having me.
Be sure to tune into I Drink Your Podcast wherever you get your podcasts, and follow them on social media at IDYP_podcasts. The day this episode is released, they're also releasing an episode on Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium with a guest that you might know. It's Connor. It's a really fun time, so I'm excited to hear it, and you guys should check it out too. And, of course, as always, thank you so much to Ian C. Weber for composing our wonderful theme song. The C, of course, stands for Can I Borrow a Feeling, the #1 hit single by Kirk Van Houten. All right, so for no highway option, I've been Connor.
And I've been Luke.
And I'm Matt.
And as always, these have been our opinions. And if you didn't like it or didn't agree, that's too bad, because it's our way. No highway option. It'll either come together or it won't.
It's almost better when it doesn't.